Hi, everybody. I hope you had a great last night or whenever I saw you or talked to you last or when you watched the videos. Hopefully the isometric drawings are going okay, and I know it's going to be difficult to draw on them unless you have a printer, but give it your best shot. I know it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Email me if you're really stuck. Tonight's homework is a little bit more of the isometrics, but I know some of you are probably almost finished with the packet, so you're probably ready to move on to our first big project of this unit, which is designing sort of a puzzle. It's a 3 by 3 by 3 solid cube that's made by putting parts together like these over here that you see in the animated movie. They'll fit together and form a solid 3 by 3 by 3 cube. The project requirements, it must have 5 pieces, no more, no less, that fit together to form a solid 3 by 3 by 3 cube. Each piece must consist of at least 2 and no more than 7 cubes. And finally, the puzzle should be somewhat challenging. In other words, don't just make a layer, a flat layer, and another flat layer, and another flat layer that just sort of stack together. We actually want to make it a bit of a challenge. In fact, you've seen, I think some of you have seen the little gray one that's left behind in the maker's space from Josh Chung. Some of the faculty members have struggled with that thing for days trying to put it together. That's actually what you kind of want, or I'm hoping for. Moving on. Here's a little better view of how this is going to fit together. And this is both a challenge in terms of design, but also thinking in 3 dimensions, which is one of the great challenges. And that's where isometric drawings really come in handy, and also what we're going to move into in just a moment and what we'll get to in this video lecture is AutoCAD. So your first step, and this is your only homework on this project for tonight, is to get some isometric paper. You can open up the PDF that's linked to the assignment sheet and simply draw out your 5 pieces. Now, it may require some sketches first. You can draw napkins or scrap paper first. Usually you end up changing the design a bit. And this sketch that you make, once you get to AutoCAD, you might decide, I want to change it completely. That's fine. But I want to see your first step, and I'll make a Dropbox for that just shortly. Your second step is to install and design your project in AutoCAD 2020. We'll talk about this, or I'll show you just a moment. Hopefully you've downloaded it. You can download it, and if you haven't used the license key I provided, you'll get a 30-day free license. That's probably enough for this unit, but if you put in my license key or the academic school license key, you'll get 3 years out of the product, which is not a bad thing. And it is the full-blown version. I just want to show you this one real quick. This is one of our former students, Luke English, who actually built it. This is his AutoCAD model. And then he exported it so he could actually explode it, so you can see the various pieces coming apart, sort of like almost what the video does. No, I don't expect you to quite be able to do that, but still you'll get the idea of how this works. All right, so let me hop into AutoCAD. Give me a brief moment here while I swap over. Whoop, I just passed it, sorry. Here's AutoCAD. Now I'm hoping you see all of these options on here. I'm going to choose Academic Name Plot Style 3D. If you don't see that one, you can do ISO Name Plots 3D, or you can do just Academic ISO 3D, or just Academic 3D, whichever one you happen to have. I'm hoping you have all of them. If you have all of them, go ahead and choose this one. And it's going to open this display. So here's our model window, and you'll notice it's already in 3D mode. You'll notice that we got X, Y, and Z is vertical. There's lots of tools over here. But AutoCAD is before I move on that, let me quickly explain. If you haven't put in the license key yet, just go About AutoCAD, and you'll see Manage Licenses, and then you can put in the license if you're still stuck in the 30-day trial. AutoCAD has been around since, believe it or not, the 1980s. So yes, it's over 50 years old. It ran on some of the first PCs. And because of that, not only does it have a GUI interface like this, but believe it or not, most people who use AutoCAD a lot don't even bother with the commands over here. Now, you're welcome to use those, but most people will actually just go ahead And here's the drafting ones for 2D. We'll simply use the text commands. If you see down here, it says type a command. You can actually just type it anywhere you want. And that's actually how you can control most of it. So tonight, I'm going to be mostly controlling it via the text commands, although I'll use some of the GUI a little bit later as well. We're going to be creating cubes. Now, a quick note on this one. AutoCAD is already designed to create cubes, but I'm actually going to do this the old-fashioned way by first creating a rectangle or square in 2 dimensions and then extending it into 3 dimensions. I'll explain why, but it'll come in handy when we start working on your dream house project, which you're going to build first in 2D, and then extrude into 3D. I'm hoping when we get back, we can actually 3D print your puzzles and some of your houses, which I'll talk about in a later lecture. All right, so let's go get started. So I'm just anywhere here on the screen. I'll tell you if I press any bizarre keys, but so let's get started. I'm going to just start randomly typing RECT, and you'll notice it immediately pulls up an option here. And rectangle is the command I want. So I'm going to click on rectangle, and now it says specify the first corner. Or you can do a bunch of other things on that. So I actually want it to be, or I want it to start right here at the origin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 0, just from the keyboard. You'll notice it actually appears over here. And then I'm going to press comma to specify the next coordinate. This is X, this is Y. And then I'm going to press comma again, and it's going to give me Z. So this is literally the first corner of my square. The red number is my X value, green is Y, and this next number I'm typing in, which I do want 0, is the Z direction. I want it in the XY plane. Pressing enter, done. Now it's asking me, all right, how big do you want this rectangle? Now you could actually drag it around and try to figure out the size. If you look down at the bottom of the screen down here, you actually can see the size. But I want to make mine exactly 30 by 30 units. So how do I do that? I'm going to do the same trick again. I'm just going to start typing 30. Notice that automatically puts the window up. And then either comma or tab to get to the next box. And I'm going to put 30 in there. And I'm not going to specify Z because it's only asking me, since I'm making only a rectangle in 2 dimensions, it's just going to ask me for that. Pressing enter, I now have a rectangle that's exactly 30 by 30. Yes, it's a square, I realize, but it's actually working out. Now my next step, how do you select objects? Well, you notice that if you move over them, they highlight. So if you move over it and click on it, it turns blue. So my next step I want to do is, once I have it highlighted, I want to extrude it in the Z direction. How do you extrude? I'm going to type E-X-T, not quite, R-U, there it is, extrude. And then it's going to ask me, oh, you can actually see, you can actually drag it up and down, and it's already got the coordinate window there. I want this to be exactly 30 tall. Enter. And now I've got my cube that's exactly 30 by 30 by 30. I'm going to select it, and just for my own sanity, I'm going to give it a color. I'm going to make this one red. And also for my own sanity, you'll understand why later, if you go to transparency and sort of drag it over, I'm going to make my cube, I don't know how transparent. Let's make it 70% transparent. That means when I start putting other cubes on here, I'm not going to go bananas and lose track of where I am. All right. Oh, I lost my escape key. All right. No problem. I'm going to have to just figure this out myself. I don't want to extrude again. How do I escape? Since I'm recording the screen, my wonderful MacBook Pro has taken away my escape key. All right. How do I do this now? Without using an escape key, I don't want to stop the recording. Is there any way to get to escape? Help. Nope. All right. This is going to be a new one for me. What if I just press enter for extrude? All right, that worked. And then I'll just go extrude nothing. Oh, maybe it won't let me extrude nothing. There we go. Phew. All right. Now, Couple quick notes on here. If you hold down is it the option or control? No. Option key, you can zoom in and out of the screen while moving your fingers on the trackpad. So hold down the option key and you can zoom in and out. This control up here, notice that right now it's actually, I'll let you see this. If you click on a face, it rotates now you see the right face. If you click here, the top and bottom face. If you click right on the edge here, it kind of gives you that view. This is how you control which view you're looking at. Which view do we want? We actually want this view right here, which is the standard isometric drawing form. Actually, I guess we're okay. Well, I guess not quite standard, but close. And again, I'm in the zoomed a little bit. I'm going to hit my option key and just zoom out a little bit. All right, so we've got one cube. How do we make another one? Well, we could create another one, but just like anywhere else, I'm going to click on this and then do Command-C to copy, and then Command-V to paste. Specify insertion point. Well, I'd like this one to be right next to this one, and I could try eyeballing it with my fingers, but again, a much better option would simply be to specify. I know the first cube is exactly 30 wide and that it's right along the x-axis. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to specify the insertion point as x equals 30, comma, I want the y to be 0, comma, and I want the z to be 0. And by pressing enter, it's put it right next to my other cube. I could have also stacked it on top just by specifying the coordinates of this corner of the cube, this bottom corner, and putting it on top. I guess I could actually show that to you. Let me give it a try. Let me paste another cube. Insertion point, I want this one to be roughly up here. Oh, it actually highlights that corner. Can I actually do that? I'm going to be safe. So for this one, x is 0, comma, I need my y to be 0, comma, but my z to be 30. Oh, wait a second. That was not the corner I wanted. I put it on top of the other one. Okay, sorry. Let me edit, undo, paste clip. Let me see if I can move that one back out. Oh, all right, never mind. Oh, great, I'm in it. Let's stop. Let's just work with two. I'm apologies here for not getting the other cube in the right spot. Right now, these are still two individual cubes. I'd like to combine them together, so this is part of my puzzle piece. So once you get all your pieces in place, you can highlight them. And the command we want to join them is called union. And so if I start typing that, you should see union. And now if I select my objects, both of them, and press return, it's now made these two objects into one single object. And this also works, the union command works for multiple cubes. So once you get all your cubes stacked where you want them, you can simply use union to sort of combine together. Let me again give you the view of this from different perspectives, and you can sort of see what it looks like. But now it is a single solid square. If you ever get yourself lost up here, there is a home button, except it always puts me to the point where I really don't want it, but that's all right. And then again, if you use option to sort of zoom out, you can work on your other pieces. I actually like working this direction because I like thinking X along this way, Y along here, and Z along here, but you're welcome to work in any direction. Once you have your drawings done, a couple quick notes on this. You can actually do layout, and notice it sort of puts it into the isometric mode, and you can sort of see it. Layout 2, very similar. Let me go back to the model. But it does actually sort of put it into that mode for you. All right. Hopefully that'll get you started. Again, do I actually want you to get to AutoCAD tonight? Not necessarily. Your big goal is to wrap up the isometric drawings and then start your sketch of your 3x3x3 cube project. Hopefully this will get you moving. Have a great time, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.